Hi everyone. I'm going to talk about my syllabus in this video for a few minutes. It shouldn't take too long, but it will be worth it to watch it. So here is this is just my welcome screen that talks about who I am. You can go through this. There are a couple of ways to navigate through this online syllabus. Talks about what the syllabus is. It's mobile friendly. You can access it anywhere. It's online. You don't have to be in D12 to access this. At the bottom, there are tabs. You can go to the different pages, or you can also go to the different pages from the top here. So we're only going to look at a couple of these things. The rest you can look at it. I want to point out a couple of things. Course essentials just talk about what this class is, what is recommended. Some of the principles, try to participate in the class, even though it's an online class. All assignments and exams are pledged, meaning that you do your own work, and please get help before you get frustrated. So when you're at that point, do email me and we can set up a time to figure out what's going on. The textbook we're going to use is Zybooks, and this is the code. So if you just go to zybooks.com, you can create an account or just go to the bookstore and you can buy your book from there. Response times and attendance policies. It says there are no scheduled meetings for this class, but you're expected to participate in the class each week where you and I will have a Zoom session to talk about your progress, see where you are, and we will take a look at the participation page where I have more of this information. So what does class participation mean? There are several ways you can participate in the class, and that's what this whole page talks about. So primarily, first week participation, you have to do a couple of these activities by the end of the week, which is Friday, so I don't drop you from the class. Okay, this is required. So you log into your D12 course shell and you complete, there's a syllabus quiz that talks about, the syllabus. You answer some questions and you also use this Google Sheets. It will bring up common sheet that I've created for all of us where you can schedule your time for meetings with me every week. Okay, so if you notice at the bottom, there's week 1, week 2, and I will create the rest of the weeks. And there are time slots. So please put your names down. The red ones are blocked out for me, so I cannot do those times. But there are other times I'm also available at some time on Saturday. So make sure you go through and fill this out so you and I can set up a time to meet every week. And that will help us keep on track. Okay, and you see there are some reasons for this. So these are the 2 required activities. I need you to set up a meeting for the first week. I don't need you to do it for every week, but for the first week, I need you to get started. And I need you to also complete the syllabus quiz. So what happens after that? So what does participation mean? Submitting an assignment, taking an exam, talking with me over Zoom. Those are all the different ways you can participate in the class. There's also a pair programming activity that I have for you. So during the first week, you will post in the discussion topic called pair programming in D12 to find your partners. So it's just 2 of you, right? It's pair. Then you will fill out your names, and there's a Google Sheet for that as well that I've created. You can fill out your names here. So I know who is partnering with whom, and you will stick to your partners for the whole of the term, and that'll kind of help you. In pair programming, there's a little bit of information on what pair programming is. I've tried this out the last couple of terms, and students have appreciated it and have really liked it a lot. So there are 2 of you work on a program, and it will help you. So one of you can be the driver, the other can be the navigator, and you can switch roles. And so read up a little bit on this. Zybooks has a lot of activities, and they're all practice activities, and that is something that you can use your pair programming. And every week, I would like you to work on at least 2 labs, and I have posted some of these in the Zybooks section as labs that you should do. Now, these are not graded, but the practice will help you do the graded assignments better. So the pair programming or collaboration is done for all the practice activities. None of that stuff is graded. All the graded activities will be done just by you. Okay. Now, if you go back to essentials, I want to show you something here that I missed. As far as the software that you need to install, which is down here, let's take a look. I would like you to download Visual Studio if you can. If you click on that link, it'll take you to install it and install the community edition. The other thing I would like you to do, if that's not possible, you can install Replit. Replit is the online compiler that will help you write C++ programs. Now, the good thing about Replit is you don't need to download and install anything. You just go to Replit, create an account, and you can share your code with your partners for pair programming. So share it only for the pair programming part of it for the practice. Then when you do your assignments, do them on your own. But this really helps because both of you can see the same code and both of you can be in the same code, editing and being the driver and the navigator. So this really helps out for the pair programming. Okay, so let's go back to the participation page here. And so those are all the ways you participate. And this is a 2-minute video on pair programming, right? Now, so a lot of these things are not graded at all, but I would like you to do those because they really help you participate in the class and get better at coding. Now, grading, as far as grading goes, all that homework practice that we talked about is not graded. Okay, let's start here. The grading practice. What is different in this class is if your assignment does not meet the rubric criteria, I have a rubric for your assignments. You can fix it and resubmit it for full credit. Okay, so you can do that anytime through the term. So this says you own all your work and your schedule. There are set deadlines to help you with your time management skills, but there's no grade penalty for not participating in class activities or turning things on time. So it's all up to you to do the things that you want to do. So if you can learn without participating in the class activities, you can pass the class. But I believe that to pass this class, you must actively participate in all the activities and submit your assessments reasonably on time. So if you try to do everything the last week, obviously that's not possible. So the reason I have no deadlines is to reduce the amount of stress that goes on in trying to complete these activities. Okay. So homework practice, this is practice all from Zybooks, and this is not graded. None of this stuff is graded. So there's participation activities. If you look at Zybooks, you'll see there are so many different ways you can learn the subject. And the Zylabs is the one that I would like you to do with your partner, which is the pair programming partner. So even though the Zylabs are inside of the Zybooks, you could take that question, part of the code, put it in Replit, work with your partner, and when you're all happy and it's working, you can put it in Zylabs and test it. And you can test it as many times as you want. Make as many mistakes because the more mistakes you make, the better you're going to get at it. So, and there's no penalty for any of that stuff. Now to the graded stuff. So we have assessments that are done in D12 that is graded, right? And here, one more thing that it says, assessments in which you do not show evidence of learning do not affect your grade. So if you do it wrong and in the rubric you get a 3 instead of a 4, then it does not affect your grades, meaning you can always fix it and resubmit it. Okay, so I keep giving you feedback and the process goes on until you get the grade that you're happy with. When you get to a point, maybe a 3 is enough and you move on to the next one, right? So we have assignments that can be done either in Visual Studio or the Replit. We have labs. These are just in Google Documents. You would be answering questions and small pieces of code that you write, but they're all done in Google Docs. And then we have 2 exams. The 2 exams are midterm and final, and they have 2 components to it. So you write a program, which is the same as an assignment. I give you a program or a problem to solve, and you write the program. And you share it with me on Replit, and then you set up a Zoom meeting with me to go over the exam. So I just check your understanding of the exam, see how you did certain things. How'd you write the loop? Maybe you can replace the loop with something else. And if you're not comfortable with it, or if you have not mastered the subject, then we go back and do it again. Okay, so we have lots of opportunities to redo things, but we have to keep working during that time frame. Now to the grading scale, which is the other thing that's different in this class. So instead of a percentage scale from 0 to 100, I use a 4.0 grading scale for this class. It is mathematically accurate. Research has shown that it is better because if you use a 0 to 100 scale, 60% and below is a fail grade, right? Whereas with a 4.0 scale, it's graded much more evenly. So it actually helps you more than anything else. So if you look at it, I have a rubric, and the rubric will go from 0 to 4 for all your assignments. And finally, when you get your points, it is based on this table. So if you're within this range, then you get a D. If you're within this range, then you get an A, and so on and so forth. Okay. So labs and assignments will be graded on a 4.0 scale, and these are the 4 different scales. And I have a rubric for all of them that will be there in your assignment that you can take a look at. Okay, there are links to the rubric. So grading is done using a rubric, and you get feedback, and you can fix it, resubmit it, and get the credit for it. So missing on late work policy, I have deadlines for all graded submissions, but it's help you with your time management. It's to get feedback and resubmit for full credit. That said, the only hard deadline is December 4th, which is the last Friday before the finals. I need the week of finals to grade everything and put it in. So everything has to be done by that Friday. So until then, you have time to fix things, resubmit, think about it, learn all through the 9 to 10 weeks that we have. And there's a little bit of something about honor. What is expected, what is good for you to do, what is it that we need to do in this class, and what is important. So that is something that you can read through. But the things that are different are this grading scale and the way the class is set up as far as participation and deadlines. Not many deadlines, but things that you should keep working on and interact with me every week and the collaboration part of it. Okay, so do take a look at the rest of it. The rest of the pages talk about resources, where you can go get help, policies, lots of policies, drop deadlines, payment deadlines, things like that. And the last page is a course calendar that has a list of things that I do each week. And it will get updated with the midterm and the final when I'm all done with it, just before classes start. So do email me if you have any questions. I hope that makes sense.